Hey, welcome back. This is ECZDC, and today we are taking a look at the M38 by Minimal. This is a travel backpack, and as the name suggests, a 38-liter one. I have had the opportunity to do some one-bag travel with this one in particular, and I'm here to report my findings, let you know what I thought, and perhaps give you some insight on if this backpack is right for you. So with that, we'll do a quick walkthrough of the exterior here. Really beefy backpack, a lot of great features, a lot of great touch points on the bag. I love the zipper pulls. These are great to use. Overall, all solid materials. This backpack felt awesome using it. And I think it's gonna hold its own in that one bag category for a couple reasons. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the specs and see how it looks on body. So first up, exterior material is Cordura 840D ballistic nylon. The interior is a ripstop custom liner, and they claim it is 75 by 150D. This bag has all Woojin hardware, YKK reverse coil zips, which are lockable as well. Weight, this comes in at 3.7 pounds or 1.67 kilograms. Dimensions, 21 by 13.75 by 7 inches. And if you're on the metric system, 53 centimeters by 35 centimeters by 18 centimeters. Now, some background information on this. In my travels, I put 26 pounds in this backpack. That includes what was an empty water bottle as well, and lugged it around as my only bag. I put everything in this and called it a day. I found this to be pretty comfortable. I've used a good amount of one bag style larger backpacks, like the Air Travel Pack 3 or the CTB35 or the Dragonfly. And I found that this hangs with some of the best in terms of comfort. And what this bag does offer, none of the other ones do, which is some really good dedicated tech storage if that's your thing. So we'll get into it, we'll take a look at that, and I think that's what really separates this bag from others in that section of bags when you're considering what you might be looking to buy. But on the exterior, before we get into the interior, on the exterior, again, 840D ballistic nylon. You've got a pretty clean front, just a little bit of branding here. It's pretty hard to see. You might be able to see it in the reflection. It just says Minimal, and as the brand suggests, I'd say that is pretty minimal branding. You do get one very sizable quick access pocket. This is, they claim 2 to 3 liters in size, and I'd agree, it's fantastic. This might have been one of my favorite parts about the bag. We'll take a look at that pretty soon. As you can even see here, sneak peek at that goldenrod yellow interior. YKK zips throughout. You're gonna get 2 number 10 reverse coils, one for the main compartment, which is clamshell all the way around. It does open luggage style, not clamshell. And then their tech compartment is a number 10 reverse coil YKK as well, and that is aqua guarded. Coming around and taking a look at the side, you got one really good stretch bottle pocket. This will fit a 32-ounce bottle. You will be, putting some good stress on it. But this is a 25-ounce Zojirushi. It fits in there with zero problem. And I find when I use it, that bottle doesn't want to go anywhere. And it is very secure. So I think this is a really great water bottle pocket in general. And I love that it's nice and sleek when you're not using it. Big fan. On the other side, you've got a handle. You got a nice carry handle. There's 2 carry handles in this bag. We'll look at the top one in just a second. This has a very dense foam in it. Not the most comfortable, but it's certainly substantial and fits in the hand pretty well. So I would say these are good for manipulating the bag, moving it, lifting it. They're not gonna be great for carrying. It's also a 38-liter travel bag. You're probably gonna want it on your shoulders if you're carrying it. And the last thing to mention, here on the sides of the bag, there are these attachment points. And what I can only assume is Minimal is going to release at some point a compression strap that you can purchase to allow you to really cinch the bag down, A, when it's packed out, but B, and probably a better reason, if you're gonna one bag travel with this, if you can slim this down, you know, this is gonna become way more of a day pack than it would be otherwise. So if you can really pull this in and reduce that 7-inch depth, you know, I don't know if it's 7 inches fully packed out, you tell me, but being able to cinch it down at all would be a huge win. So I think that would be pretty cool. We'll see what Minimal does, but that's what I would assume these little plastic attachment points are gonna be for. Now that top handle, as I mentioned, is the same as the side, but it does have one trick up its sleeve. It has a magnet, and I love this because it is out of the way. It's not gonna rub on your neck or catch your hair or, you know, your hat. And you'd think it would be weighty because there's a magnet in there. Nope, it's super light and feels just as comfortable as the other one. It's also just as flexible. So pretty cool design. Big fan of that. Magnets. How do they work? And the last thing to see here is our harness system. And again, you're getting a glimpse of that colorway we're gonna see on the inside of the bag. This has a very plush foam, and it is enclosed by some nice spacer mesh. Feels really soft, somewhere between, you know, not gonna rub and make my shirt pill, but I don't know if it'd be perfectly comfortable on raw, you know, bare skin, but certainly plush and padded. Straps, a little bit less padded, still pretty padded, same deal. These are, they have a nice contour to them, so they do come across your shoulders and your chest pretty nicely. Again, Woojin hardware. Sternum strap is a magnetic clasp, also Woojin. And you're gonna see these plastic clips. These are your strap keepers, and you got these throughout. So pretty nice that they keep that on there. I'm a big fan of that. Little items make the experience better. And this is the hip belt. The hip belt is removable. Also an optional add-on, you don't have to buy it. It does have a little stretch pocket and a side stash pocket. So maybe a little bit of cash, or I don't know what you're gonna put in here, but nice to have. 38 liters, you're bordering on the point where, you know, the bag might be too heavy for you just on your shoulders. This might be nice to have. It's also removable. It just slides in here from this back panel. There's a small piece of Velcro that keeps it from sliding out. And, you know, it'll take a little bit of weight off your hips. So all in all, nice option to have if this is a route you want to go. Last thing to mention here in the harness system, of course, is a luggage pass-through. If you wanted to pair this big burly boy with some rolling luggage, excuse me, you certainly could do that. And you do see a little bit more branding here with this M. But the thing I wanted to mention is you've got what they call a secret stash pocket behind both sides, where you could put passports, documents, and paper. It is divided, so it's only this, and it goes to about here. So worth mentioning, you can use that. I thought it might be a cool way to, you know, stow the straps, but I couldn't, you don't quite get enough extra nylon to get the strap in there, although they do sort of fit. So that's your back panel, your harness system. In terms of comfort, let's compare this to some bags you may be familiar with. Air Travel Pack 3, CTB 35, GR2 34. GoRuck, once broken in, probably has the best straps. I would say out of the three, under full weight, you know, 25, 30 pounds, Air probably does, in my opinion, probably comes in second. This would probably beat out Evergoods. And then, yeah, Evergoods would be last. That's what I would say in terms of those four bags. I don't think Evergoods is uncomfortable, but I think this is somewhere between the Air Travel Pack 3 and Evergoods CTB 35. So just a general comfort meter for you. And now let's take a look here at this front pocket and see if we can angle this. Okay. Show you what's inside. So this is, again, estimated 2 to 3 liters. I've got eyeglasses. This is the Day Owl. This is a packable tote by Minimal. It was a pain to figure out how to fold it back into this thing, but after a couple minutes you figure it out. This was great for groceries while I was traveling. Pulled this out, I was able to get, you know, more than enough things in here, and it's just a nice lightweight packable tote to have on hand. There is a attached leash for your keys with a little spring-loaded metal clasp, again all hardware, Woojin. And there's also a tiny little fixed keychain, so you get 2 little leashes dangling in there. There's one very large drop-in pocket, big enough for this Philippe Rabot admin pouch, which is my preferred way to carry tech. This is what I would typically bring. We'll look at the tech compartment in a minute, and I'll show you some other options. And there are 2 stretch mesh pockets. We've got just some stuff, knife, hero clip, pack of gum. That fits in the top one pretty well, and there's one more right below it. I didn't even use that because it was just kind of hard to get to. But it is a very deep pocket. So I've also got a snack pouch, which is by D-Made. And let's show you the depth, because this might be my favorite part about how this bag is designed. So the tech pouch was in this drop-in pocket, and it extends to here. You can see, you can't even see the pouch. It's probably about an inch submerged. So that goes to here. The pocket itself, this quick access pocket, goes just a little bit further. So there's probably about an inch or 2 of separation down here at the bottom. But super deep space that is great for maybe a packable jacket. I don't even know. You've got 3 liters of space, so use your imagination and you can put whatever you want in here. But I put all sorts of crap that I needed to find a home for. And it's nice that you get some, you know, stretchy pockets that are good for some smaller organization. We're just gonna zip this shut and forget about it. And the next thing to show is the tech compartment. And I feel this is what makes this stand out more than the other bags that fit in, you know, this 35-ish liter travel backpack category. So this is the tech compartment. The back panel is clamshell and it folds down, giving you access to this really nice goldenrod color interior. Now, what's really unique about it is it not only gives you a place for a tablet and a laptop, there's 2 sections here, but you got a home for pretty much everything else you want on this side. So there is a keyboard slot, and this is a Apple keyboard, sans the numeric pad, but if you did have that extended length keyboard, there is a nice little, nice little strap here to keep your keyboard in place. I did bring my mouse with me, so this is the Logitech Master 3S. Fits in there pretty good. It's a pretty beefy mouse. Power brick for my Mac. Small topo pouch with some knickknacks, and then I got the MagSafe cable over here. Now there's also a small drop-in pocket up here. Bunch of elastic, bunch of loops. Lots of little places for all your little things. So if you like everything to have a home and for those things to be in its place, this might work great for you. This setup is created for, what would be a digital nomad, right? And what's really nice is you don't even have to open it all the way to get to everything. You can open it halfway or just from one side and still see into a lot of the stuff, making it pretty useful. There is one more little pocket that I want to talk about in here, and we'll show you the laptop. There's this little sleeve here that I can fit my whole hand into at the top, and I'm not really sure what its purpose is, but it's kind of like a security pocket, I suppose. If you wanted to keep, something in here that's a little bit more on the inside, but still also easy to reach, it's nice to get to because of how that piece of fabric is patterned on a diagonal. So pretty interesting. And then down here on the inside of the back panel, you've got the home for your tech. So this is an 11-inch iPad, and this is a 14-inch MacBook Air. And I wouldn't travel with this if I could help it, but this is a 16-inch MacBook Pro. And it fits in there snugly, comfortably, but snug. So if your machine has a larger depth than the MacBook Pro, it might fit, but it's also probably going to be a little tight. So something to consider before you buy this. But otherwise, there is a really unique material in here. It's really supple and soft, but it's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of nice feeling. But otherwise, you get that nice goldenrod ripstop throughout the interior. And again, your laptop compartment here is suspended, it's padded on 3 sides, it's super protected, and it's behind an AquaGuard zipper. So this is going to be super sufficient for your tech. In terms of travel, and now let's take a look at the main event, which is just a giant bucket. So I've got 2 pretty large packing cubes in here for what I was doing. This was a winter sports event. I went snowboarding over the weekend, so I had way more clothes than you would need for a typical 4-day weekend. But I brought a medium Peak Design packing cube, and I also used Minimal's large packing cube, which is just, ever so slightly bigger than the Peak Design cube. But what's really nice is it fits inside this M38 backpack really well. And of course it's designed to do so, but it was really satisfying seeing how it filled the base of the bag really well. Now inside you get 2 mesh pockets, and I just kept a small little bag. This acts as my hamper if I need a secondary one. And there are 2 little drop-in pockets above those. This is attached. It is not removable. I did not find myself using it, but if you wanted to secure your belongings, there's just two little plastic clips that you can use. There's actually two different sized ones, so depending on what's in here, you can choose to just keep it on the bottom, or if you want, and this is what I did, I just folded up and rolled it out of the way, and that was that. So minimal packing cube. Quick comparison to the Peak Design. I am Peak Design packing cube fanboy. They're just the best that I've used. This gives it a good run for its money. Not so stretchy of material, but it's got a little bit of give. It does have your main access zipper and then the compression zipper to really cinch it down, which is great. A little bit of mesh on the front, venting out some air. But otherwise, it's a solid packing cube. And if you're gonna get this backpack, this fits super well inside. So something to consider if you do go this route. So that is your main compartment. Just try to give you a little look at this bucket. And what I'm gonna do here is on the screen, I'm gonna throw up some pictures and compare my loadout. I'm gonna put it in the CTB35 and I'm gonna put it in this, and you can see them back to back. So first we'll go M38, and you can see the Peak Design and the minimal packing cube are inside the bag right now. And then we'll flip over to the CTB, and you can see the same two items packed inside the main cavity. So you can just get a better understanding for how this compares to the other bag. Pretty similar main cavities, very similar in size bag in general. We'll talk about that at the end. But let's take a look here at the other side of the, I guess, the outer panel. So nothing happening on the top. You do get just a little bit of foam that separates that front quick access pocket. And here you can you can see how big it is. This is that entire front quick access pocket. It's enormous. But down here you just get that ripstop material. And this is where Minimal has designed a space for you to put your DOP kit, which is pretty cool. Nice dedicated place. If you weren't bringing a DOP kit this big, you could probably get a pair of flip-flops in there or some smaller, thinner shoes. So an additional segmented area on the bag. In this case, I am using the DOP kit. And we'll show this off. This is Minimal's DOP kit. Pretty nice piece of kit. Same 840D exterior. It's got some nice organization, some more magnet action going on. Couple loops, couple elastic pouches for your little bits. Unfortunately, the elastic didn't fit the gravel little travel pods that I use, so but still, really nice little piece of gear. It's got a nice little travel hanger. I use the Air Travel Kit too, and where is it? There it is. This is typically what I use. And it also fits in here. So if you're looking for just some size comparisons, it's a little bit thicker than this, but it fits in here great, if you were wondering. But yeah, that is the inside. And that wraps up our walkthrough. So, pros and cons. Let's talk about what this bag does really well. Actually, first, let's rip this out so you can see what it looks like without this huge hip belt. There it is. So, removable hip belt. A little bit sleeker now that it's been removed. But again, nice addition to have just in case you want it. All right, so pros and cons. First, pro, I'd say digital nomad's paradise. You've got a home for all your little tech stuff, keyboard, mouse, adapters, cables, there's loops and pockets and drop-in pouches and, you know, spots for everything. So I think if you're traveling, you think you're gonna one bag, or maybe you want a multiple bag because it does have a luggage pass-through, and you don't like using pouches, this is definitely a viable option. I think it was made with a lot of great material selections. I like the 840D, a big fan of that material in general, feels really nice. The YKK zips have lockable, lockable metal pulls, and then you get really nice little finger loops here to give you something to yank down on when you're closing a bag that you clearly overpacked. Front compartment, I think this is probably my favorite part of the bag. It's enormous, great for your odds and ends. My giant tech pouch, well, it's a good sized tech pouch. Fits in here no problem. Great place for an exterior layer or a jacket. I like the padding. I think they did a good job here in the harness. It's very comfortable, feels good under weight, works well, and you know, the strap keeper's just a little plus for me. Also, this did not sort of round out after putting, you know, packing cubes and all the tech stuff in here. It kept its structure pretty well, and it never felt like it became a, you know, turtle shell on my back. It was a big bag and you can feel the bag, but it didn't feel like it, you know, rotated away from me when I was wearing it. This bag, you know, I'd say the only downside to this bag is the straps, they could be a little thicker. And when you have a big travel bag like that, I think that's really important. So that's gonna be subjective, that's gonna be person to person. They were pretty good for me. I would use the bag. It's better than some bags I've used, but it's also, you know, it's not the best. It falls somewhere in the middle. So it's pretty solid. And I'd say that's the only thing I'd really tell them to think about improving on is, you know, maybe a thicker strap. And the other thing they mentioned is this is carry-on compliant. And while that is true, you know, I think airlines domestically in the US versus internationally are gonna have way different sets of regulations. So just do your homework before you go. This is 21 inches tall. So, you know, it might not be carry-on compliant. You might be gate checking this, and that could be a problem, you know, considering all your tech's inside. So do you want, I don't know, do you want them to throw your bag down in the hold with your laptop right here and then have, you know, other bags piled on top of it? So just things to consider. But overall, I think Minimal did a really nice job with this bag. It feels really premium. The design was very thoughtful, and they clearly spent a lot of time coming up with a way to build everything around that tech compartment. And you know, it's done in a pretty good way. So all in all, really nice bag. And I think it suits, you know, folks one bag traveling, maybe, you know, overpackers for a weekend like me, people that love that dedicated tech storage with a home for all your little bits and bobs. So great bag. Fits in well in the class, and I think it's gonna do really well. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. If you have any questions about the bag, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video. Take care.